And our top focus on the show today. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, in his visit to Israel, pressed for a ceasefire deal, saying that the time is now. However, Hamas is indicating towards the rejection of the hostage deal. The militant group, however, says that talks, however, will continue. Lebanese media Al-Manar TV quoted a Hamas official underlining their position on the current negotiations is negative. Hamas's press office subsequently clarified that the negative position does not mean that the negotiations have stopped. Hamas is reportedly slated to submit an amended response to the latest proposal. Blinken said that Israel has made very important compromises in ceasefire efforts, and it is now up to Hamas to get the deal done.
This is something that the whole world is watching. And if Hamas actually purports to care about the Palestinian people and wants to see an immediate alleviation of their suffering, it will take the deal. If it doesn't, I think that's further proof that it doesn't care a bit about the Palestinian people.
En route visit to Kerem Shalom, one of the main crossing points for aid into Gaza, Blinken made a brief stop at Kibbutz Nir Oz in southern Israel. It is one of the sites of the October 7th Hamas attack. At the Kerem Shalom crossing, Blinken discussed as to how to expand humanitarian aid to Gaza with Israel's Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. Israel reopened the Erez crossing to allow aid to flow into the hard-hit northern Gaza Strip. Blinken met Netanyahu in Jerusalem for over 2 hours, after which Israel repeated that the Rafah operation would go ahead despite the U.S. position and a UN warning that it would lead to tragedy. Blinken said that he had still not seen a plan for Israel's promised offensive on Rafah that would protect the civilians, repeating that Washington cannot support such an assault. On the other hand, Israel's military chief of staff said that the offensive operation in Gaza will continue with strength and that Israel was preparing for an offensive in the north. Gallant too asserted Israel's intentions of the Rafah offensive.
We are determined to take any action in order to return our hostages back to their home. These are the right values. It is morally right and it is a declared war objective. At the same time, the IDF, subject to the instructions I gave to the General Staff and the Chief of Staff, is preparing to carry out any operational mission in the Rafah area.
In the U.S., President Joe Biden's administration is facing renewed pressure from his fellow Democrats to influence Israel not to launch a full-scale invasion of Rafah. 57 of the 212 Democrats in the House of Representatives signed a letter calling on the administration to take every possible measure to dissuade Netanyahu's government from an all-out assault on this city. Meanwhile, Palestinians in South Gaza expressed cautious optimism on the potential ceasefire deal. Displaced people in the city of Rafah say that they want an end to the suffering and hardships caused by the ongoing Israeli offensive in Gaza. For more on this, we earlier spoke to Alan Bostein, visiting assistant professor, Israel Institute Fellow Department of Political Science, University of California. Listen to what he had to say.
So Hamas is indicating that it is going to reject the deal, but it is not actually rejecting it. What Hamas has an interest in doing right now is prolonging negotiations. Israel and the IDF right now are stuck. The IDF has pulled most of its forces out of Han Yunis. The IDF is not actually carrying out any operations in the Gaza Strip and is waiting for the Rafah invasion, but Israel is being held back by the United States and by the potential for a deal. So Hamas really has an interest in constantly saying maybe yes, maybe no. Israel is a little bit stuck. If it were to do what you suggested and cancel the Rafah plans, then Hamas could say, okay, now we'll negotiate in 2 months. Now there's no pressure. In turn, if Israel were to go ahead with the Rafah plans, then it would be going against what the United States says and would possibly be torpedoing the deal. So Israel is stuck and Hamas is taking advantage of that tactically during the negotiations.